Welcome into the season preview for Carlow University men's basketball. Looking ahead to the 2022-2023 season, I'm Sean Myers, joined by the one and the only head coach in program history here at Carlow, Tim Kiefer. 9 years now. I know you always say the best and worst that this program has ever seen. Can you believe that you're closing in on a decade already?
No. What's this for you, 8 years?
It's been a while, yeah. I think I picked you guys up maybe your second year.
So we're glad to have you.
Well, there's been a lot of ups and downs throughout your time. Last year, 3-27 overall, but you got a really important win. You got that conference win for the first time in a while. How did you evaluate the team's performance a year ago?
We have to improve on defense. And evaluated, we're poor. So that's what our focus this year is. More on defense. Our guys are here. Every practice starts with defense.
Well, you talk about the defense, almost 100 points allowed per game. Obviously, there's a focus on it. Personnel-wise, do you do anything different? Have you brought in maybe the type of athlete that you think can help lower that points against?
I believe so. We also have, you'll ask us later on, you talk about losing a Coach Dave, but we brought in a coach, Matt Furjanic, who used to coach at Robert Morrison Marist College, and he was at Polk, so he's a defensive specialist. So we've been working on a lot of fundamentals. That's been our focus. It's our footwork, everything. That's how you begin to play defense.
Well, obviously, defense has been the main focus. Is there anything else that you want to see improvement for this season?
We have to make shots. We didn't shoot well either, so we have to improve upon all aspects of our program.
Well, Marcus Millian, certainly that was a guy that could shoot it, he could play defense, he could do it all. He had a terrific career here at Carlow. He's since graduated. So what was his impact on this program?
He came in, he was a really good athlete. He was an all-state hurdler. Didn't get to play a lot of basketball in high school. Being a good athlete, he still had to learn the game. He improved every year. Again, 4 years we were really happy he did graduate. So we were excited about that aspect.
And he became the second 1,000-point scorer in program history
yes.
as well. So you returned most of your guys that you had from a year ago. Marcus obviously has moved on, but otherwise you have a decent amount back. Who are the top returners, and what do you envision in terms of their roles?
Okay, we have 6 players coming back, 4 starters, Dave, AJ, Nehemiah, and Hunter DeStefano. So those are our captains this year, so we're excited about them coming back. Right now, Nato Savage will be our first guy off the bench. That's just the rotation right now. We have 13 freshmen, but they're all, vying for positions in role playing, find out what their role. We're still evaluating. We film every practice. We just got done looking at a practice again, so we can't really pinpoint who's outstanding right now. They're all fighting for playing time.
Well, he mentioned that massive group of freshmen. So when you bring that many players in, playing time might be hard to come by. How have you evaluated that group of newcomers? What have you seen from them, and what do you think maybe they will contribute when it's all said and done?
Well, we actually gave them a point system that we use, that we evaluate every practice, that they understand what they have to do. Fundamentally, offensively, defensively, and that it's a 1 through 5 point system, and we grade them, and that's what they do. They look at the film, so when the film doesn't lie. So you come in, you want more playing time, prove it on the court in practice.
Well, so you have so many players joining your program. Obviously, you're doing something right on the recruiting trail. What's sort of the pitch that you give?
Our main pitch is we win jobs. So we try to get players that are going to help us win games, but our goal is to get guys that are going to come in. We're a tough institution. You have to be a good student. You have to be disciplined. Same things we need on the court, but we want to make sure we can get you in there, get you a degree, get you a job.
I know you talked a little bit about the captains previously. Who do you look at as the leaders this year?
Those 4 guys are leading. We have some freshmen. I invited a couple guys here. One of the freshmen had to drive an hour and a half to come to our workouts this summer. He made it all the time, so that's why I invited him for you to speak to him. I thought he did a good job. They're sacrificing again, not only basketball, but you got to get ready for the classes, the class load. We haven't had a road trip yet. Studied on the road, coming back, making an 8 o'clock class after a night game. So those are things they're still going to have to learn.
Every team sets goals before this season. What do you have in mind in that regard?
Get better every practice. Every practice we have to get better.
So the River States Conference has been very challenging. We mentioned you got a conference win in RSC play a year ago. When you look at the conference, how do you evaluate the landscape of it?
Tough, up and down, east, west, You have to get ready too. Some travel, you might travel 6 hours to get off a bus and play a game. Every team's very, very tough, very tough.
What were some of the goals, and what do you think stands out about the non-conference schedule that's been assembled?
We play a tough non-conference schedule. We play 2 D1 NCAA teams, 2 D1 NAIA teams, 4 NCAA Division III teams, so it's very competitive. That's one of our recruiting pitches too. If you want to be the best, you get to play against the best too. We get to get on ESPN, things like that, so the kids like that.
Well, next year it's going to be a transition to a new conference, Division III AMCC. So what are the positives, in your opinion, of that move?
Well, the main positive right now we're looking at is, it's reduced travel, things like that. A little closer home, we'll play teams that we know a little bit better about, where kids will know each other, things like that. So it'll look to be fun for us.
You've been here since the start of this men's basketball program. So is your longtime assistant, Dave Gordon, but he now has a new role. He's leading the women's program here at Carlow. So how will that impact his role in the coaching staff that you have?
It's going to be a big loss for us. Dave and I go way back. We've coached football together, basketball. We're going to miss him, but like I said, we have Matt Ferjank who's come in and replace him. We also have Tyler Eady and Jake St. George that played for us, so they do an outstanding job. So we'll be okay in aspect, but we wish the women's program, good luck and everything. Dave's going to do a great job. And
lastly, you talk about you've coached a number of different sports at a number of different places. So ultimately, what is your favorite aspect of being a coach?
Well, college-wise, the coolest thing is when you get to go to graduation and writing letters of recommendation. With the other sports, I coach track and football, and seeing the athletes and telling them not to put all their eggs in one bag, so to speak. The more sports you play, you're going to get better. And we've seen a lot of guys that maybe didn't get a look at it in one sport, but got a look at another sport, especially track. So I enjoy doing that.
Well, Coach, I know one thing is every time you come over and talk to me, before you talk basketball, you tell me about someone who's doing something after their college career has ended, what they're doing in the job in job world. So I think it's great that is a main focus for you.
It's a lot of fun. In high school, you're trying to get the kids ready for the next 4 years in high school. Here in college, we're trying to get them ready for the next 40 years. So hopefully we're doing that, helping them out.
Well, certainly you have, and it continues year in and year out. So, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time. We always appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean. I appreciate it, man.
Tim Kiefer, head coach of the Carlow Celtics men's basketball team here on the season preview. We continue here on the season preview for Carlow men's basketball. I'm now joined by one of the many freshman newcomers to the Celtics, Griffin Ruhlman, a guard. First off, thanks for taking the time. How's everything been with you?
It's been great. It's been a pretty quick and easy transition to college. I really enjoy it so far.
Well, that leads into the first question. I know the games haven't started yet, so that'll be the real litmus test. But what has been the biggest adjustment from high school basketball to the college game?
Definitely the speed of the game and the level of IQ needed to be successful at this level.
What do you think your best attribute is as a player?
Probably creating for my teammates, whether it be through screens or off-ball movements.
I know Coach said that there's still a lot to be determined with so many new players, but what would you envision for your role this season?
Whatever I can do to make the team successful and make people in the classroom successful, that's all I can do.
I know it's still early on in the process, but what have you set for individual goals and for team goals for the Celtics?
Be as successful and become a better player this year, so in future years to come that I can play a bigger role. Whatever Kiefer asks of me is what I'm going to do.
How about the team goals?
Team goals, win games, be successful, and become better as the season draws out, and let's make playoffs.
You're one of 13 freshmen, so there's a lot of players who are going through the same process as you are. Does that help, having so many other people who can relate?
Absolutely. It makes it a lot easier knowing that there's so many other people going through the same process as I am, so we can relate and bounce ideas off of each other.
Who have you seen as some of the leaders of this team so far?
Definitely the upperclassmen. They play a big role in transitioning the freshmen into college basketball.
We heard from your head coach, Tim Kiefer, the only coach in program history. What do you think his best qualities are?
Definitely setting goals for individual players and helping them become the best player they can be.
I'm sure the first game could be the answer to this one, but what game or maybe a couple games are you most anticipating?
Definitely the games in Miami. Those are big ones. Appalachian State, and then all of the conference games.
Never a bad idea to head down to Miami, huh? I guess that's
Yeah,
pretty nice. Lastly, let's talk about your decision. You came from Brookville. What led to you coming to Carlow University?
Definitely the athletic program, but also the great academic program that they have to offer here.
Well, Griffin, thanks so much for taking the time to do this. We hope to have a great freshman season and beyond for you.
Thank you very much.
That's Griffin Ruhlman, a freshman for the Celtics here on the season preview. We roll along here on the season preview for men's basketball, joined by another freshman, Carlow Matos Machado. First off, thank you for taking the time. How's everything been with you?
I'm being great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's talk a little bit about the transition. I know you're a couple months into your college life now. How has that transition gone for you?
Honestly, I had really high expectations for college, so I'm like overthinking a lot before my tests, so I'm over preparing, and honestly, I'm getting good grades, so I think I'm doing something right.
Well, over preparing, I don't think Coach Kiefer would be too upset as long as you keep doing that for basketball as well. Let's talk a little bit about basketball. How have you adjusted to the shot clock? I know that was something you had much earlier in your life, but
Yeah.
not in Pennsylvania high school basketball.
So I had it a lot during Brazil, especially when I played for my leagues and stuff, but it's completely different whenever you play with college players. They're way more athletic, and the speed of the game is completely different. So I'm trying to adjust. It's not the same, but I mean, it's always a trying thing.
What do you think maybe your best strengths are?
I really try to encourage all my teammates constantly. So if they made a mistake or anything, I'm always gonna like look forward to them and try to push them up and be like, "Hey, let's go! You got this, man. You're good."
Staying positive, always key. And that's been key the last couple of years because Carlow has struggled in terms of wins and losses. What maybe can turn that around?
Honestly, I feel like since now we have a lot of freshmen, and now like it's a completely new team, all we need is chemistry. So if we really play with each other and we really like get into like good plays and stuff, we're actually going to be able to win a lot of games.
What are some of the goals for yourself and for the team as a whole?
For myself, I want to adapt because there's a huge difference between college and high school. But for my team, honestly, I wish we win a lot of games, and I wish we grew more as a family because I feel like everyone's very united.
Who are some players who have stood out that you think might be top performers this season?
Honestly, Riley's doing really great, Isaiah is doing really great, and I'm very proud of pretty much everyone on the team. We're all working really hard.
I had a chance to see Riley in 40 in high school. He's always been a terrific athlete. What's your favorite aspect of this version of the Celtics?
Like I said, we are very united. Everyone talks to each other. If you need help, don't be afraid to go and ask. Be like, hey, I can't do this for my class. Could you help me? Or even in like practice, be like, hey, can you help me to do this move or to understand what's going on? Nobody's gonna like let you down. Everyone's gonna try their best to help you.
Lastly, originally from Brazil, you played in high school at Bishop Guilfoyle. What are your reasons for coming here to Carlow?
Honestly, a better education. I was looking forward to like try my best. I'm a chem major, trying to go for chemical engineer, and I honestly just thought the program here would be amazing for it.
Well, it was amazing talking to you, Carlow. Thanks so much for doing this, and good luck your freshman season
you.
and beyond. That is Carlow Matos Machado here on the season preview.